Hello again, everyone, and welcome into the Tacoma Dome for what is yet another 4A state tournament game, this time between Union and Richland. And this has the makings of what should be a classic matchup. The 8 versus the 9. This seems to be having the makings of an instant classic. So let's take a look at both these two teams. First, for Union and their story, they are on a sterling win streak, as they have not looked back, especially through the midway portion of the season. Once after a loss against Camas, a really strong program, they have not looked back. They've been winning and winning aplenty. As they have gone through their campaign, they've won 11 straight games in a row. They have a record on the season of 19-6 after the sluggish start at the very opening course of the season. So some of the key starters, let's first take a look at the starters for the Union Titans. And first things first, starting with a senior forward, number 5, Josiah Baldessari, followed up along with Samir Thompson, the guard senior, followed up by Cody Holcomb, who's a guard sophomore for the Union Titans. And then rounding out the starting lineup, the main key star for Union, Yanni Vasilis. Vasilis averaging 24 points a game this season and just below 9 rebounds, followed up by 4 assists on average a game, 3.5 steals, and 2 blocks especially. So we're going to be calling Vasilis' name all night. And then also Evan Manville to round out the starting lineup for Union. But let's also take a look, and alongside me, my broadcast partner, glad to have on the call Max Schuster for the call. And, well, Max, you've seen Richland quite often throughout the course of the season. Look at their starting lineup and some of the key stats and players look out for Richland.
Yeah, I've been calling Richland games all year. So starting off is the freshman Landen Northrop at guard, standing at 6'3", as well as Jack Forbes at forward, key threat on the inside, standing at 6'4", as well as Jace Woodard, the MCC Player of the Year, who was 3rd in scoring in the MCC, averaging just over 18 points, as well as Jase Vopalensky, the senior guard, standing at 6 foot, really key on the defensive end, and then Luke Westerfield at 6'10", a couple years back, Richland had 7'4", Riley Soren, who set the state block record in the tournament. Luke Westerfield kind of trying to fill his role in the inside and in that big spot filling.
And then followed up, especially, this is going to be the starting lineup. And the story for Richland, and they've had a really hot start. In fact, and the story with them, they have not looked back. They've won 21 of the last 22 games. So quite a stellar start to the season, especially for the Bombers. Yeah, the Bombers took a trip down to Salt Lake, where they picked up their first 2 losses, and they hadn't lost since. They played Chiawana in the District 8 tournament game, and that was their only loss other than down in Utah. And they picked up 2 wins against Hanford and Kamiakin and lost against Curtis in the quarterfinals play-in game. So that puts them here against Union. Well, it's quite a start, especially to begin a year, but we're just about set and ready to go for this matchup between Union and Richland. We'll take a quick break right here on the Eli Sports and NFHS networks. Well, the 4A playoff picture for the quarterfinals is all but set, but there's one final missing piece, and that's what we're about to see between Union and Richland. Danny Bach alongside Max Schuster and Noah McFadden. Both teams are having their starting lineups introduced right this moment. But first, some final keys first for the Richland Bombers on what they have to do. Yeah, so the Bombers really, talking to Coach Streufert and everything, the Bombers defensively to offense transition is where they primarily maximize their scoring. We've seen Jace Woodard score over 18 points all year against Curtis. They only lost by 9, but Woodard only put up 3 points. So obviously a big hit there on the offensive end. So Bombers will need Woodard to be firing on all cylinders in this big matchup against Union. And for Union, well, the key star, can you get Yanni Vasilis to get going? And we've seen that especially throughout the course of this season. Vasilis on the year, a spectacular campaign, averaging 24 points a game and 9 rebounds to go along. With 4 assists, 3.5 steals, and 2 blocks. So we'll be seeing especially Vasilis in action. Vasilis is standing at 6 feet 5 inches tall. The senior has been spectacular for Union. But for Richland, this is going to be a case. What can we see from some of the key stars? We'll find out in just a few minutes of time. But after a long trip that's finally worked its way to the Tacoma Dome, one story will continue, the other one will come to a close. What will it be? Let's find out between the Bombers and the Titans. Richland leaving their team huddle. A lot of emotions, especially in the state playoff games. And boy, here's another one. The final picture of the 4A tournament about to unfold. The story with Richland, well, it's been a long time. Since 1972, they last won a state championship. And for Union and their story, well, they've had 6 appearances in the state tournament. So wherever you might be viewing in, welcome in to the Tacoma Dome. Kenny Block alongside Max Schuster and Noah McFadden. Buckle up, here we go. The Bombers and the Titans. For the opening tip, it'll be Lucas Westerfield going head-to-head with Yanni Vasilis. And Vasilis with an opening tap. Leading the way for Baldessari. It's still loose. A scramble for the ball finally on the near side. Emerging free for Richland is Josh Woodard. Woodard looks over the defense of the Union Titans over to the far side. Played on by Northrop. Northrop to the inside for Forbes. Forbes a chance. Now down low, Westerfield. Kicks to the outside for Northrop. A deep 3 from Northrop is good. And the opening 3-pointer of the game for Landen Northrop.
Great look there for the freshman, especially getting those nerves out in his first state tournament.
Over on the far side, this is Samir Thompson. Thompson on the outside, now to the inside, an intercepted pass by Vasilis. Now a break. Here comes Woodard on the head. Josh Woodard stops up on the outside, takes a look, finds down low Vopalensky. Vopalensky near side for Northrop to the inside, played on by Westerfield. Kicked out now for Vopalensky. Of an attempted pass that looked near a shot. Play is finally called with a foul. They'll be going against Samir Thompson for Union. So at the line will be Jase Vopalensky. Off the shooting foul. Vopalensky at the line for the initial attempt. Converting on the first try. Here comes the second attempt for Vopalensky. Already a 4-0 lead for Richland. Second attempt, legs on the rim and out. So up ahead comes Union with Vasilis. Vasilis dropped down low for Thompson. Thompson blocked on the play by Westerfield. And now an odd man rush and a break. Northrop stops up near side. Played on by Woodard. Josh Woodard takes a look. Lobbed in for Forbes. Partially blocked by Vasilis. Loose ball finally picked up by Union, and they bring it back the other way, looking for their first score of the game, down 4-0.
Vasilis really doing it on the defensive end. We'll see what he can do on the offensive end.
Vasilis a 3, and lays off the front of the rim and out. Union still scoreless up to this point. Vopalensky takes a look, thrusting far side for Northrop. Northrop hangs on. Woodard again. Woodard watching the play by Cody Holcomb. Near side, played on by Vopalensky. Vopalensky lobbed in for Westerfield. Turning left-handed shot is good from Westerfield. Opening points of the game for him. 6-0 lead for Richland right off the bat. Samir Thompson drifting in on Woodard on the outside. Played on by Manville. Evan Manville takes a look. Drop down low. Baldessari can't finish the play. Meanwhile, out of bounds on the play was Cody Holcomb and a turnover.
We'll see how the out of bounds on this court, if you can see the separation between the blue and the white line. We've seen time and time again here in the Tacoma Dome that affects teams. Last year they were over on the championship court. This year on the Tacoma Dome court.
On the outside, played on by Woodard for the carryover from Northrop. Near side for Vopalensky. Vopalensky watched by Thompson to the inside. Great ball movement, knocked away by Cody Holcomb and out of play. So Richland, this is the opportune start. Vasilis and his Union Titans held off the scoreboard. A 6-0 scoreline. The entry feed by Woodard. A pass that's broken up in and out of the hands of the far side by Valencia-Alvarado. So on the outside, driving in, Samir Thompson. Thompson leaving one for Vasilis again. averaging 24 points a game. Long-range three from Baldessari's good. Opening points of the game from downtown, Josiah Baldessari.
Bombers just left him wide open for that, capitalize on their defensive mistake, and put him on the board.
Cutting to the inside, Vopalensky splits in, and another turnover. And there's the presence of Vasilis up the wing. Vasilis off balance jumper. He puts one up, and a foul eventually called. Shooting foul. Second foul of the game. It'll be on Vopalensky, Jase Vopalensky, his first foul of the contest. And a 6-3 score line in the early going. Beg your pardon, not at the line. Meanwhile, the foul was on the floor. Entry feed, Vasilis works his way to the inside and scores. Yanni Vasilis brings the deficit to 1. Long-range three from Vopalensky off the mark. And Union will advance back the other way. Evan Manville. Manville on the outside. Splitting to the inside. Turns. Elevates his shot up and short. Corralled by Thompson. Samir Thompson to the outside. Thompson takes the browse. Cuts through the inside. Trying to shake free from Northrop. Kick to the outside. Played on by Manville. Manville. Watched on the play by Woodard to the inside. Vasilis comes up short. And coming up with the rebound is Brock Streufert.
Kind of looked like he forced that shot, possibly because the shot clock only had 4 seconds on the clock when he let it go.
On the far side, played by Jack Forbes. Forbes takes the browse to the inside and intercepted. And guess who? Yanni Vasilis again. Foul is eventually called. Foul will be going against Vopalensky, and that's his second foul. Jase Vopalensky, 2 fouls already, and we're barely halfway through the first quarter. We'll be watching that throughout the course of tonight. Cody Holcomb with the entry feed in for Samir Thompson. Thompson over on the far side, played on by Cody Holcomb. Holcomb works to the outside. Holcomb takes the look, lobbed up top for Vasilis. Vasilis looking to escape. He does. Near side, give and go. This is Holcomb. Cody Holcomb. Shot clock down to 6. Holcomb escorts a shot and scores. What a finish from Cody Holcomb.
Phenomenal shot by Holcomb over Westerfield's hand. Just got it right in the basket.
Westerfield in response. Too much steam on the attempt. And back the other way comes Union. Played on by Manville for the handle on the far side by Holcomb. Cody Holcomb to the inside, looking to surge on free. One problem, a foot out of bounds. Richland basketball.
Vopalensky will check out with 2 fouls, and Landen Northrop will check back in.
The entry feed on the floor from Brock Streufert. And up the floor comes Josh Woodard. Woodard lobbed in. Nearly corralled by Westerfield. Lucas Westerfield watching that pass sail out of bounds. A 7-6 score. 2:48 remaining in this first quarter of play. Danny Bach alongside Max Schuster and Noah McFadden from the Tacoma Dome in a spectacular 8-9 matchup. This is Thompson. Samir Thompson for Vasilis again. Yanni dispossessed initially. Poke check by Jack Forbes. Up the wing comes Vasilis. One problem, he lost the ball and out of play.
Foul will be called.
Vasilis will head to the line. A foul going against Josh Woodard. It'll be Vasilis at the line. First look at the stripe for him. He'll be shooting 2. Meanwhile, play has been halted for the moment. Vasilis takes a few more strides, averaging 24 points a game. He's been phenomenal, especially for the senior.
Yeah, really doing on both sides. If he doesn't score on offense, he's making it a threat for the Bombers.
So here's Vasilis at the line. He misses on the first attempt. Vasilis again. And Vasilis on the attempt. Now leads us into a stoppage in play as the scoreboard clock is out. 8-6 Union out in front of Richland. So we've reached a timeout in the action. We'll keep it right here. Union an 8-6 lead over Richland. Meanwhile, the entire scoreboard clock is not working. So you know what? Why don't we take a break right here and get ourselves pieced up together on the Eli Sports and NFHS networks. Back live in the Tacoma Dome. Danny Bach alongside Max Schuster and Noah McFadden. We're still looking to try and repair the scoreboard clock. So meanwhile, as our patience is being tested, Yanni Vasilis already an excellent showing so far with 3 points especially, but it's more about the impact plays that start and stop with him. He's forced a few fouls that have led to a few chances from the free throw line for Vasilis. Meanwhile, we're still looking to get back into play for Richland and some of the key stars that we've been seeing. Well, in terms of what we've seen from Jace Woodard, well, a little bit of a start for him. Josh Woodard still held off the scoreboard. A little surprising, especially from the early going, with the prowess of Woodard throughout the course of this season. So the officials still continue to check the time. Scoreboard clock went out for the third time. But still, nevertheless, the time still continues. 2:30 remaining, supposedly, according to the first quarter clock. And we're back underway. Streufert up the floor and played on now by Woodard. Josh Woodard takes a browse, lets it rain from three. Woodard converts. First three-pointer of the game for Josh Woodard.
That was from deep, too. That was the NBA three.
That was taken, from a long range. Now, meanwhile, here comes Grayson Stanley into the game for Union. Lift it now. Vasilis kicked out three from Stanley. Denied off the front of the rim, and a foul eventually called off Stanley. Maybe a retaliation foul after missing the shot. And now a foul will be called against Stanley. Meanwhile, shaking up on the play was Josh Woodard. So checking in instead will be Jase Vopalensky for Richland. Advancing up the floor, Landen Northrop. Northrop, top of the key, off the screen, set up by Forbes, intercepted, and a break. Here comes Evan Manville. Anvils dashing down to the outside, played on now by Stanley. Stanley gains an opening on the outside edge. Stanley splits in, cuts down low, and the finish that can't be completed by Samir Thompson. Over the far side, here comes Richland in response. A long two that's missed. Scramble for the loose ball, and guess who on the rebound? Yanni Vasilis. Yanni on ahead. Vasilis splits to the inside, kicked out, open three. Stanley misses on the attempt. Westerfield on the rebound. So back up the floor comes Baldessari over to the far side. Long three, that's missed on the play by Northrop. Back-to-back empty possessions for both these two teams. Evan Manville on ahead for Vasilis. We've entered the final minute play in the first quarter. Vasilis, no open option, instead goes down low and finds one. And the finish from Grayson Stanley. 10-9 our score. 40 seconds or so left to go in this first quarter of play. On the outside, this is Brock Streufert. Streufert over to the far side, played on by Northrop. Top the key to the inside. Westerfield completes the finish. 4 points on the afternoon for him.
Bombers definitely using Westerfield inside, if not to score, to run the offense through him and kick it back out.
Union with possession to close out the quarter if they so choose. Vasilis splits in down the lane, and he's able to draw another foul. And that's the key, especially for Yanni Vasilis. Second look at the line for him. He went 1 for 2 previously. So here's Vasilis at the line, first attempt. Up and good. 2 for 3 from the stripe so far today. So here's Vasilis again. Second chance from the stripe. And an 11-11 tie. Vasilis' wish is answered with a successful free throw. 12-11 our score line. 6 seconds to go in the quarter. Northrop finds Streufert. Streufert a three! He misses in and out, and that's the way this quarter will come to an end. 12-11 Union in front of Richland. We'll take a quick break on the Eli Sports and NFHS networks. Back in action. Well, not much difference between these two teams. Only 1 point to be the difference. Union a 12-11 lead over Richland. Danny Bach alongside Max Schuster and our producer Noah McFadden from the Tacoma Dome.
Yeah, this 9-8 matchup is really living up to the matchup. It's nice and even, like it says on the stats, and it shows it here on the court.
Meanwhile, here's Evan Manville. Manville off his own deflection. Manville splits right through on Westerfield and scores. Opening points of the game for Evan Manville. Richland in response. A lob. Open is Valencia-Alvarado over to the far side. Played on by Woodard. Woodard for Westerfield over to the far side. Long three from Woodard. Woodard on the conversion. And it's his second three-pointer, Josh Woodard on response. And we're back tied at 14 again. Smear Thompson. Thompson pestered by Woodard. Carried over by Cody Holcomb. Holcomb lobs one that's corralled on the far side by Josh Woodard, who advances on ahead. Woodard near side. Vopalensky a three that's short. Corralled by Evan Manville, who'll advance on ahead. An odd man rush. Vasilis up the wing, misses everything. Vasilis again, he scores on the rebound. Give him 7. Yanni Vasilis on the finish, and the lead's up to 2 for Union. Far side for the carryover from Northrop. Northrop takes a look, finds down low Westerfield. Westerfield using his size advantage, 6 feet 10 inches tall on the finish. 6 points on the night for Westerfield. And we're back even again, 16 all. On the outside, Manville thought about a three, instead blocked on the play by Westerfield. Lead pass and on ahead, Northrop in alone, short on the attempted layup. A foul offensively will be called. What a sequence. Landen Northrop had it all alone after the block from Westerfield, an emphatic block. So it'll be Union who will inbound in the form of Cody Holcomb. Up comes Samir Thompson. Thompson, far side, played on by Tucker Dunseth, missing on the three-point attempt. First action of the game for him. On the outside, Woodard. Woodard for Northrop, a three. Misses off the left side of the iron, out of bounds it goes. Union will have possession. Boy, not much separating both these two teams. Just an exceptional job by Yanni Vasilis. Richland will call a timeout in a 16-16 tie with 5:50 remaining in the first half of play. So we know what's obvious here, especially for Richland. What they have to do, they have to stop Yanni Vasilis. But so much easier said than done. But so far, well, not much that separates both these two teams here.
Yeah, Yanni Vasilis, there's only so much one guy can do, and right now it's really shown. We've seen a couple shots hit from the outside by the other guys, but Yanni Vasilis really, he's almost calling an ISO ball. You've seen him kind of get mad at his teammates time and time again for not clearing the way. So the Bombers will see what they can do to kind of isolate him. But on the other end of things, Union, they really got to guard all 5 guys. We've seen the Bombers, all 5 guys on the court right now have scored some points. So we'll see what Union can do to combat that.
And here's the entry for Samir Thompson. Played on for Tucker Dunseth. Dunseth crosses the timeline. Tucker Dunseth, far side from Manville, a three. He's got it! Evan Manville from outside the arc. 5 points on the night. Meanwhile, Westerfield takes a look. Play is halted. Foul will be called. Called on Union.
Fouls on Facilis.
First foul for him. Checking out for Richland will be Valencia-Alvarado. Westerfield down low for Scacco. To the inside. Played on now for Woodard. Turnaround jumper is good. Woodard on the conversion. Josh Woodard, give him 8 for Richland. 18-19 our score. On the outside, Samir Thompson. Thompson watched on by Josh Woodard. Deep 3 that's missed on the play by Dunseth. Richland on ahead. Streufert takes a look near side. Played on by Vopalensky to the inside, and missing on the layup attempt was Westerfield. But however, a loose ball, Westerfield in a lone 3-on-1, and a foul eventually will be called on Tucker Dunseth.
It's a good foul by Dunseth there. It was 3-on-1. Basically an automatic point for the Bombers, and he stopped that, and they'll see if they can hold him here.
I've never seen a book on trying to stop a 3-on-1 because it's so difficult. Who would you guard? Okay, enough about the X's and O's. Inbounding for Richland will be Josh Woodard. Woodard takes a browse. Open down low is Jack Forbes. Kick down for Northrop. Northrop, far side for Streufert. Streufert takes a pause. Now cutting to the outside. Josh Woodard out of play it goes. Last touch off of a Union Titan hand. 20 seconds on the shot clock for the Bombers to go to work. Let's see what they drop. The entry feed into Streufert. Streufert down low for Jack Forbes. Forbes kick to the outside. Lobbed in, a pass looking for Westerfield, broken up, and now on ahead, Facilis. Facilis 1-on-2. Coming up short on the rebound. Very quickly on ahead, Richland all alone, Westerfield in alone, drop down low, Northrop scores!
Great find by Westerfield there. Perfect give and go, fast break there by the Bombers.
And an intercepted pass by Northrop, right to the front. Woodard comes up short. Near scare for the Titans of Union. Back comes Evan Manville. Manville pivots on the outside. Left on now for the carryover from Samir Thompson. Thompson takes a look. Thompson lobbed down low for Manville. Manville, he'll light up a 3 and in and out on the attempt.
Great shot there by Manville. He is really firing with no hesitation from beyond the arc.
Woodard kicked out for Northrop. Northrop near side for Brock Streufert. Streufert, far side of Woodard. Woodard watched by Thompson to the inside. Pivoting is Forbes. Kicked out a 3 that's misfired on the attempt that came on the outside by Streufert. And Union will advance on ahead. 2019 game. Cutting to the inside. Kicked out and played on now by Thompson. Into the corner, a deep 3. Not the ricochet that Evan Manville was hoping for. Meanwhile, briskly and chopped down low out of the reach of Jack Forbes, and out of play it goes. Off the fast pace, still a 1-point game. Subbing in for Union will be Grayson Stanley. We've seen a few looks for him playing in the point position, but instead here comes Yanni Facilis for Union. Poke checked in a steal. Jack Forbes rides in for the dunk.
Seen Forbes use athleticism like that time and time again this year. Nice to get a dunk in the state tournament.
Meanwhile, Facilis, another potential steal. Stolen away. Forbes rides on it. Forbes can't finish the play. Still loose ball. And out of bounds it goes. Possession will stay with Union after all of that. And there's that aspect that Jack Forbes has to his game. That steal that you see, the poke check away from Facilis, able to ride in for the initial dunk. Then he had a second chance and almost finished the play there. Meanwhile, Stanley on ahead. Stanley able to work his way into the attacking zone, takes a look to the far side for Baldessari back into the game. Baldessari takes a look. Play is finally halted. Foul will be coming. Appears to go against Jack Forbes.
Forbes picks up his second personal foul. Bombers now have 2 players with 2 fouls. One is Vopalensky and one's Forbes.
So we'll watch that aspect as things continue. 2:19 left to go here in the first half. We'll take a quick break right here on the Eli Sports and NFHS Networks. Back live on the Eli Sports and NFHS Networks. Right now, well, the story that we've seen, Richland a 22-19 lead over Union. Much of that is how Yanni Vasilis only has 7 points so far in the game, averaging 24 points a game on the year. So quite the stellar start, especially that you could say for Richland, especially defensively, locking up Vasilis. The entry feed will be coming by way on the far side by Cody Holcomb. Holcomb to the inside. Here comes Baldessari. Misses on the attempt. Loose ball, and guess who's standing 6 feet 10 inches tall? Westerfield on the rebound. Meanwhile, in response, an unfriendly roll off the attempt that came by way of Vopalensky. Another chance to deny it off the front of the rim. And advancing up ahead will be Evan Manville. Right on ahead for Vasilis. Vasilis, he's fouled on the play. A foul that will set up an inbounds play on the near side. And the foul is going against Josh Woodard. Second foul of the game for him. Vasilis on the entry, and an issue with the clock. And so we wait once more. So a foul apparently is being called. Yanni Vasilis is at the line. So here's Vasilis at the line for the first attempt. Here's Vasilis. Misses on the 1-and-1, picks up his own rebound. Yanni Vasilis! Second chance doesn't go. He can't finish the play, and play finally halted. But now Vasilis will head to the line. First foul of the game for Westerfield. Vasilis will see another attempt at the line. 3 for 5 from the free throw line. Make it 4 for 6. 8 points on the day for the star for Union. This to cut the deficit to 1. It's true. 9 points on the afternoon for Yanni Vasilis. Josh Woodard lobs to the inside of Westerfield. Lost the handle, kick to the outside, however. Richland in response. Played on by Josh Woodard. Woodard takes a browse far side for Vopalensky. Vopalensky near side. Woodard a 3. He's got it! Josh Woodard, a 3-pointer. His 3rd of the game. Already a stellar start. Near side. It's Stanley looking to respond. He can't fire there. Meanwhile, here comes Holcomb. Holcomb dispossessed illegally. No, a foul will be called. Foul coming as the end result of all this.
It looked like on that, out of all the contact, one foul they called, probably the least amount of contact in my opinion.
You could say a lot of the fans might be displeased, but those officials are not being paid, the fans. So here's the entry feed for Richland, the former Brock Streufert. The son of head coach Earl Streufert. So up the floor comes Brock Streufert. Streufert takes a look. Thrust it near side for Jace Woodard into the game. First action for him. Jace pump fakes. Finds Northrop. Pass for Westerfield. Intercepted by Grayson Stanley. Stanley up ahead. Takes a look. Near side. Corralling was Baldessari. Now played on by Vasilis. Vasilis double team. Kicked out a 3. That's made on the play. The 3-pointer from Josiah Baldessari.
2 threes for him on the night.
25-24 our scoreline. Here's Jace Woodard. Lobbed in for Westerfield. Spins and misses on the attempt. Now on ahead. Here comes Yanni Vasilis. Vasilis to the inside. Backdoor feed. And the finish from Baldessari. End to end they go. and it's now a 1-point game. Back the other way comes Richland with Streufert. Shot clock turned off. 13 seconds ago in the first half of play. Streufert again. Takes a browse. Finds Northrop. Forward to shoot. Into the corner. Forbes elevates a three. Misses on the attempt. And that is the way this first half will come to an end. Union, a 26-25 lead on Richland. We'll take a quick break right here on the NFHS Networks and Eli Sports. Welcome to the Washington State Officials Association halftime show. Be part of the solution and become a high school and middle school official. All sports are in need and looking for new and energetic people to join the third team. Contact the WIAA at WashingtonOfficials.com. Fill out the quick contact form, and a WIAA representative will contact you. Well, we're at the half, and you're seeing the halftime highlights throughout the course of this first half of play. Union and Richland, only 1 point separates these two fine clubs, with Union nursing the 1 point lead. So far for Union, one of the main key stars, Yanni Vasilis, who has been spectacular. 9 points already in the first half of play. He has forced a lot of chances from the stripe, most importantly for Union. Also, a few other key stars, Josiah Baldessari with 2 3-pointers leading the way for the Titans after Vasilis. But also, Evan Manville got really hot in the second quarter, 5 points in that second frame as well. But held off the score sheet, but some efforts that should not go unnoticed. Samir Thompson has led the way up the floor. If it's not Vasilis, it's been Thompson leading the way, and he's been producing a lot of great chances for the Union Titans. But for the Richland story, well, there's so many weapons galore here. Danny Bach alongside Max Schuster and Noah McFadden, our producer. If we take a look at what we see so far in this contest, it's been spectacular. But for Richland, so many stars, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, really doing it and making that outside threats. Josh Woodard. Josh Woodard has 3 threes, 9 points all coming from beyond the arc. But Luke Westerfield doing it down low, stretching out the court, making it hard on both 3-point shots and inside, which is why we've seen Union go into a zone defense to try and combat that, as well as the freshman Landen Northrop. Northrop, grown out of those first game nerves in the state tournament. He's been to the Dome plenty of times with his brother playing for Richland a couple years ago, but first time on the court, came out with that early three. Hasn't scored any yet, but really creating problems for Union, being that threat, as well as Jase Vopalensky. We didn't see Vopalensky much at the end of that first quarter and start a second in foul trouble, but with 2 fouls. Forbes has 2 fouls as well, and Josh Woodard has 2 fouls. So Bombers, we'll see how foul trouble comes into play in this second half. But for now, we got ourselves a ball game. It's 1 point difference. Union leads.
This has the makings of an instant classic. We've had a great first half. We'll find out what the second half has in store for us. Let's take a look at some of the key stats, especially throughout the course of tonight's contest. First, a look at some of the leading scorers for Union. Leading the way, Josh Woodard. I'll beg your pardon. What am I doing here? Leading the way is Josiah Baldessari with 8 points on the night for Union. Followed up by Yanni Vasilis with 9 points to go along with 9 rebounds. 1 point and 1 rebound away from a double-double for him. No surprise. 4 assists as well for Vasilis down the stretch. So then also Baldessari with 8 points and 2 rebounds for Union. And then also Grayson Stanley had a few looks, including a made 2 to go along with the stat line. But in terms of the first half stats, field goal percentage, 36% for Union. Meanwhile, also a 3-point shooting. Well, 3 threes are made from Union, 3 of 11 from outside the arc. Free throws, 5 for 7. But the story for the Richland Bombers, well, not really much surprises besides Vopalensky hampered by foul trouble.
Yeah. The total stats throughout the game look very similar on both sides. That's why it's a 1 point game. It's 38% shooting for the Bombers and 4 for 11 from 3. So just 1 more 3 than Union, shooting 36 and 50% from field goal range. or free throw line, which is where Union got those couple points. They're 5 for 7. The Bombers only 1 for 2. And Woodard leading all scoring with 11 points. But the big number is Luke Westerfield down low. 6 points, averages just over 10 points, but nothing special. But rebounds, 3 rebounds. If the Bombers are really going to win this game, they're going to need Luke Westerfield down low to really carry in that rebound category. We see Facilis with 9 rebounds and 9 points. A couple of those have led to fouls, which is where he's gotten most of his points here. 5 points, 5 of his 9 points coming from the free throw line. So, yeah.
Some of the other key statistics, especially from this first half of play. Offensive rebound percentage. Well, Richland has not had a single offensive rebound with 0% offensive rebounding efficiency, especially with Lucas Westerfield running the paint. A little bit of a surprise, you might say. Points off of turnovers favoring Union 10-3, taking advantage of some turnovers that have taken place. And then also rebounding, Union also winning that battle 22-12. And it helps when you have such an exquisite star as Yanni Facilis already with 9 rebounds, leading the way for the Titans of Union. So a lot still yet to go. We're just a couple minutes away. We'll take a quick break to catch our breath before we start to lose it in the second half with Union up 26-25. That will conclude the WIAA halftime show. We'll be back for the second half of Union and Richland right after this on the Eli Sports and NFHS networks. Back for the start of the second half. Union a 26-25 lead on Richland. Winner moves on. The loser goes home. Buckle up. Here we go for the start of the second half of play. Jase Vopalensky will inbound to ensue things with Landen Northrop. Northrop watched by Samir Thompson to the inside and a loose ball and finally a tie-up. Josh Woodard was there defensively. Facilis is called with his second foul right off the bat. Meanwhile, open. Colton Northrop puts one up in short. Rebound corralled by Yanni Facilis. And Facilis will advance on the way, sitting with the 2 fouls. Samir Thompson on the outside. Thompson watched by Josh Woodard. Near side, played by Facilis. Yanni Facilis, pump faking, cutting the inside on Forbes. Thrusted outside for a deep 3 for Baldessari, who's got it. Baldessari, the 3-pointer. Third 3 of the game for him. He has 11 on the night. On the outside, this is Woodard. Woodard played on now for the lob in for Northrop. Kick to the outside, surging on in. Drop down low for the turning, shooting Westerfield. Can't connect on the short jumper. Out of bounds it goes. A little bit careless on the control by Yanni Facilis. And now an extra possession for Richland. Largest lead of the game, Union up 29-25, as opposed to the early portion of the game. At one point, it was Richland up 6-0. Thompson breaks up the pass, but turning, shooting a jumper that's missed on the play by Vopalensky. Rebound corralled on the outside by Baldessari. Leading the charge now up ahead is Facilis. Yanni Facilis. Manville a 3, misses on the attempt. A scramble for the ball, somehow saved initially, but turned over. A 3-on-1 if they hurry. Rising up in and putting up a shot was Josh Woodard. He'll head to the line after the foul attempt. Woodard heads to the line.
Facilis will pick up his 3rd personal. 2 quick fouls here in the second half by Facilis.
Boy, does the game script change. So at the line is Josh Woodard. First free throw attempts for him. Woodard is true on the first chance from the stripe. Cut the deficit down to 3. Woodard again. 2 for 2 for Josh Woodard. So back up the floor comes Yanni Facilis, sitting with the 2 fouls. Entry in for Samir Thompson, played on now by Baldessari. Now it's turning and spinning is Cody Holcomb, blocked by Westerfield initially. Down low, spins on Westerfield, but can't finish the play. Woodard, watched by Holcomb on the outside. Played for the carryover from Vopalensky. Now Woodard again. Woodard to the inside looking for Westerfield. Last touch off of a Union hand, which halts play. Still a 2-point game. Woodard inbounds in for Westerfield, and he gets the roll. 8 points on the night for Lucas Westerfield. And we're back even again, 29 apiece. Samir Thompson. Thompson sachets, kicks to the outside. Deep three from Baldessari is missed off the right edge of the rim. And a loose ball and a foul eventually called. Change of possession, and it'll be Richland who will have possession.
Surprised there kind of by Baldessari's miss. We've seen Baldessari go, he's on fire from beyond the arc. 3 threes here in tonight's contest, and with a tie game, that could have put him up.
Northrop in a tie ball game, 29 apiece. Far side for Josh Woodard. Woodard top of the key, takes the browse, looks near side for Vopalensky. Woodard far side, the entry feed. Colton Northrop shovels a pass that's broken up, intended for Westerfield, and Union is able to advance. This is Thompson. Thompson spindles to the outside. Manville turns it over. Westerfield led on ahead, impossible 2-on-1 if they hurry. Deep three from Woodard is missed. Loose ball corralled eventually by Evan Manville. And back the other way comes Union. And here comes Yanni Facilis, who loses the ball in a 2-on-0 in a break. Here comes Vopalensky. Layup is good.
Forbes really able to spread the floor there, picked up the steal and found Vopalensky wide open for the easy 2.
Another steal for Jack Forbes. On the outside, this is Samir Thompson. Thompson to the inside. Played on now by a spinning Facilis. He gets the roll. Give him 11 on the night.
Great shot there by Facilis, using athleticism again up and over the defender.
Northrop a 3 that doesn't go, off the back of the iron. And it'll be Union, they'll advance back the other way. Up the floor, the carryover from Facilis near side. Long range 3 from Holcomb, in and out. Corralled on the rebound by Evan Manville for Union. Manville splits in, turning, spinning, shooting one! And not the shooter's roll that Evan Manville was looking for. Here comes Josh Woodard. Woodard splits right in. Woodard scores! What a finish from Josh Woodard. Game high 15 on the night for Richland.
It's kind of turned into a Josh Woodard show for Richland on offense.
Meanwhile, here comes Baldessari up the wing, looking for a foul. The unpaid officials don't get one. 2-on-0, right up the wing and scoring on the play. Guess who? Vopalensky. Or, beg your pardon, Josh Woodard on the finish. Woodard on the finish, give him 17 on the night. 35-31, timeout called by Union. And boy, has the tide changed dramatically. Richland, a 4-point lead. We'll take a quick break on the Eli Sports and NFHS networks. Back live on the Eli Sports and NFHS networks. Our score with nearing the, as we just passed the halfway point of the third quarter, Richland 35-31 lead. The winner of this contest, well, they'll have the pleasure of facing off against the number 2 seed Mount Si. Difficult test for the winner of this game, but still, these two teams are very potent, especially in terms of the 4A classification. A lot of sustained success for both these two programs, but left unfulfilled with a championship. Richland hasn't won a state title since 1972. Union still looking for their first. Steaming up the floor, Cody Holcomb dispossessed and a turnover. Jordan Valencia-Alvarado near side. Now here comes Josh Woodard with a feed intended for Jase Vopalensky. Out of play it goes off a Union defender. Josh Woodard to inbound. Woodard takes a look on the far side, surging into the near side. This is Valencia-Alvarado now down low. This is Woodard. Drop down low and a feed that's finished on the play. It's Valencia-Alvarado with his first points of the afternoon, and the lead is extended to 6. Samir Thompson on the outside. Thompson watched by Woodard to the inside. Facilis double teamed, finds the escape on the outside of Baldessari. Now this is Manville. Manville looking for Baldessari, broken up, intercepted by Jase Vopalensky. and Richland able to advance with a 6-point lead. Thrust to the far side. Now for the turning, spinning chance from Valencia-Alvarado. Now a deep three. Yeah, it's in and out. It's still Westerfield on the follow-up chance. He scores. 10 points on the night for Lucas Westerfield, and the lead, largest lead of the night for Richland. They're up by 8. Thompson played on by Manville. Manville looking to lead the rally. Baldessari kicked out now for Manville. Fakes the 3, shoots the 3, and misses the 3. Westerfield on the rebound.
Said at halftime, Westerfield really is going to have to start dominating that rebound game, and he has so far here in this third quarter.
Streufert leaves one for Josh Woodard, far side, played on by Valencia-Alvarado. Give and go, thrust to the inside of Woodard, kick to the outside for Vopalensky. Now Woodard in for Westerfield. Westerfield, one problem, one step too many, and a travel changes possession. Union down by 8 with 1:49 to go. We'll have possession. Into the game for Union will be Grayson Stanley. A little bit of work to do for the Titans of Union. Stanley on the entry. Intercepted by Woodard. And on the finish, Jordan Valencia-Alvarado on the steal. Not much playing time for Grayson Stanley. Pickpocketed there. Stanley in response charges right in. Lost control of the ball, and out of bounds it goes. However, a foot on the line was Josh Woodard. Union will still have possession. Stanley to inbound. A lob in for Facilis. Yanni Facilis to the rack. He is fouled.
Late foul call there.
Jordan Valencia-Alvarado appears to be called on the foul. No, beg your pardon. Jack Forbes, his third of the night. So the third chance at the stripe for Facilis. Misfires on the first attempt. Second chance from the line. Facilis converts. 12 on the night for Yanni Facilis.
Half those 12 points coming from the free throw line.
And that's where he's done most of his damage here tonight. Valencia-Alvarado on the outside. Streufert. Near side, Streufert again. Cutting in on Thompson to the outside of the give and go. Here's Woodard. Woodard splitting right through. Woodard follows up his own rebound. Can't connect. Kick to the outside. Played on now by Forbes. Into the corner. A deep 3 that's missed on the play. Still loose. And a foul eventually will be called. Is this Valencia-Alvarado again? And it appears it will be. Another foul for him. Second foul of the game for him. Lucas Westerfield checks back into the game. Defensively for Richland. Thompson up the wing. Thompson with great speed, thrusted near side, long range three from Baldessari's denied. Rebound corralled by Valencia-Alvarado. Richland able to advance on the attack. Here's Woodard stretched on ahead. Westerfield double teamed. Kick down low, and the layup is good from Jase Vopalensky. Shot clock turned off. Baldessari on the outside. Takes a look. Hesitates. Still plenty of time to work with if you're Union on the outside. Facilis. Yanni Facilis. Finks on Vopalensky. Trying to gain some space. 5 to shoot. Puts one up somehow. And a foul called on the end result. What a shot attempt by Yanni Facilis with 2 seconds to go in the quarter. So at the line for Union will be Josiah Baldessari.
They call a foul on Jordan Valencia. That's his third personal foul.
Racking up the foul count Baldessari finds the rim on his first attempt and out. So here's the second attempt. 3 points come at quite the cost. Baldessari looking to gain one of them back in the deficit. He misses both of them. 2 seconds left. And this is the way the third quarter will come to an end. A 43-32 lead for Richland. We'll take a quick break right here on the Eli Sports and NFHS networks. Back live on Eli Sports and the NFHS network. And boy, it was a third quarter barrage by Richland. A 29-25 Union lead soon evaporated. And Richland, well, they really caught fire in the third quarter.
Yeah, Richland went on a 14-2 run in that second half of the third quarter. Put them up by 11. So we'll see what Union can do here in the fourth quarter to kind of combat that run. It's going to be tough by Union, but we'll see what they can do here in the Tacoma Dome.
Back in action. It'll be Union on the advance with Thompson. Thompson lobbed in for the play made by Cody Holcomb. Lifted for a three that's made on the play by Evan Minville. Minville, that's exactly what's needed for Union. Can they get a defensive stop? Vopalensky on the outside. Watched by Holcomb. Far side for Forbes. Jack Forbes. Northrop to the inside for Josh Woodard. Woodard splits on the outside on Facilis, hanging with the 3 fouls. Into the corner. Woodard again. Dispossessed by Facilis, who will advance on ahead. Yanni Facilis dropped down low for Thompson. However, a travel on Facilis halts play. Costly mistake there for Facilis. He was in front of his own dribble and lost control of his balance enough. And the travel call gives Richland possession, nursing an 8-point lead. Danny Bach alongside Max Schuster, alongside our producer Noah McFadden. This is Richland on the advance. Valencia-Alvarado kicked out now far side for Woodard. Josh Woodard. Watched by Holcomb, near side for the carryover from Northrop. Deep three is missed on the play on the attempted shot from Vopalensky. Here comes Facilis. Yanni Facilis up the wing. He's partially contacted. A foul finally halts play. And Yanni Facilis once again will head to the line. Landen Northrop, first foul for him. So here's Facilis again, making his namesake at the free throw line. So here's Facilis. Union will definitely need Facilis to try and work their way back into this game. Facilis on the first attempt from the stripe. In and out. Fourth missed free throw attempt for Facilis. Shooting 60%, 6 for 10. Facilis converts on the back end. 13 points on the quarter for him. It'll be Richland on advance. On the outside, this is Josh Woodard. Played on by Vopalensky. Vopalensky watched by Cody Holcomb. Lobbed in, intercepted by Yanni Facilis. Facilis, he knows how to handle the ball well, regains his balance. Facilis thrusted far side, long range three. That missed everything from Cody Holcomb. Meanwhile, a stoppage in play. Great defense from Samara Thompson, however, no turnover in the end result. 6:17 to go in the fourth quarter of play, where we see Richland a 7-point lead over Union. Great work by the defensive side for the Bombers to neutralize Yanni Facilis. Even though they're still giving up chances for Facilis at the line, still a great work done by Richland to hem him in. 13 points with about 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, about 11 under his average. We've seen Facilis 24 points average on the season. So the fact that the Bombers have sent him to the line so many times, he's only shooting about 60% from the free throw line, helps a lot on that end. And it's not really a hack-a-shack situation because he's still 60%, but you know, it's easier to hope that he misses that free throw right now than give him an easy lay-in inside.
And however, in terms of foul trouble, we do have a few key stars for both these two sides with 3 fouls. Obviously, Yanni Vasilis, he sees most of the action. He has 3 fouls. Meanwhile, for Richland, Jordan Valencia-Alvarado and Jack Forbes each have 3 fouls. And Jase Vopalensky sitting with 2 fouls, something to watch down the stretch. So that is the totality of key stars that are in 2 fouls or more. So up the wing comes Landen Northrop, who hands off for Josh Woodard to advance for the Bombers. On the outside, this is Northrop, intercepted again by Vasilis. Man, he is everywhere. Yanni Vasilis, splitting right through, drop down low. Baldessari gets the shooter's roll. He's got 13, tied for the team lead in scoring with 13 points with Vasilis. Open man finishing the play. Meanwhile, this is Josh Woodard, lobbed to the inside by Northrop looking for Westerfield. Play is halted. A foul eventually will be called going against Union. And the foul will be on Evan Manville. Manville with his first foul. Both teams sitting at 4 fouls with 5:40 to go in regulation. Kicked out a deep 3. That's made on the play from Jordan Valencia-Alvarado.
Big 3 points there by Jordan Valencia-Alvarado. Got them back on the scoring train after that 14-2 run in the third.
Here comes Union, briskly in, needing points and needing them now. Evan Manville on the outside. Manville takes a look, finds Yanni Vasilis. Vasilis kicked down now. Baldessari, far side now. Here's Vasilis again. Spins, still, puts one up, brutally short. Richland on ahead. The advance for Vopalensky. Vopalensky up the wing, into the corner. Kicked it now. Deep 3, that is. Missed on the play by Woodard. Still loose. Loose ball. Picked up now. Surging to the inside. Westerfield. Blocked on the play by Vasilis. Back to the outside. Play finally halted. With 4:48 left to go, a foul will be called.
Vasilis, great recovery play there. It looked like Westerfield almost had a wide open lane, but able to use his athleticism, get up there, and block his shot.
So 4:48 left to go, 8-point lead. Officials having a conference at the scorers table, set to get back into play.
I believe they're discussing about the shot clock. 28 seconds, and you can see Union coach Blake Conley kind of arguing about the shot clock, and they lower it down to 17 seconds.
Conley gets his wish. Lob to the outside for the carryover by Brock Streufert. Streufert played on for Valencia-Alvarado. Great ball movement by the Bombers. This is a long 2 if it goes. It does from Brock Streufert. First points of the game for him, and the lead's extended to 10. Union with Thompson, Samir Thompson, lobbed for Baldessari. Baldessari leaves now for Manville. Manville up the wing, blocked on the play by Westerfield. A loose ball almost salvaged by Streufert. Union will have possession, still down by 10.
One thing I'd say is Baldessari, we had 2 wide open 3s, and early on he would have taken those, and those just hesitant and didn't fire.
On the outside, Manville. Manville surges now to the outside. Manville played on now for the carryover from Vasilis. Vasilis, as the shot clock expires, watches the shot clock violation, and possession will go for Richland with 4:02 to go in regulation. The entry feed from Jase Vopalensky. He'll surge on ahead. Take a browse near side and find Vopalensky. Josh Woodard. Open, down low. Westerfield on the finish. He has 12 on the night. And the lead is extended to 12. Thompson on ahead. Union looking him out to come back. Here's a chance in his score from outside the arc. And it's Baldessari again. He has 16 on the night. And in we go. Bombers with an entry from Westerfield. His jumper doesn't go. Battle for the ball. Baldessari comes up with possession and an eventual foul. 9-point game with 3:18 left to go in regulation.
That's Valencia's 4th personal foul. We'll see what they do here with 3 minutes, 18 seconds left on the clock. If they keep him in or pull him and save him for when they need him most at the end.
Well, here's the entry feed. It'll be Union in the form of Cody Holcomb losing the ball out of bounds on a turnover. Richland forcing a turnover with 3:12 remaining in the 4th quarter. And Richland will call timeout. Give a chance for head coach Earl Streufert to discuss tactics, nursing a 9-point lead. We'll take a quick break right here on the Eli Sports and NFHS networks. Back live on the Eli Sports and NFHS networks. Danny DeBach alongside Max Schuster and our producer Noah McFadden. We welcome you to the final 3 minutes of regulation between Richland and Union. And so far from what we've seen, well, we want to hear from the 3rd member of our team, Noah McFadden. What is your impression, especially so far in this contest, where we've seen Richland hanging tough with Union?
Well, definitely a loser-out game here, an elimination matchup. Definitely the 8 to 9 seed has lived up the hype that is so far. 50-41 here with 3 minutes left to play. I'm curious to see who can finish strong.
Well, looking to begin the finish, Jase Vopalensky with the inbounds play for Brock Streufert. Streufert on the outside. Played on now to the outside. Top of the key for Valencia-Alvarado. Off the screen, Brock Streufert. Streufert takes a look and finds the open Vopalensky. Give and go to the inside of Westerfield with a hard pass. Last clutched by Woodard. However, paid officials say the last touch was off of Union. 10 seconds on the shot clock. It'll be Streufert inbound. And it goes for Josh Woodard on the outside. Played on now by Valencia-Alvarado. Long 3 with the shot clock expiring. Loose ball, block on the play made by Evan Manville. Play finally halted. Foul will be called and possession will point towards Union. 9-point game. And however, instead, no foul. However, it's a shot clock violation. So it'll be Union who will inbound. Thompson give and go with Cody Holcomb. Thompson again. The advance up the floor. Thompson takes a look, surges to the inside on Josh Woodard. Leaves one to the outside for Yanni Facilis. Facilis on the outside. No luck. What a pass. And Thompson looking for his first points of the night. Can't finish. 2:15 remaining in a 9-point game. Streufert. The outside played on. Now top of the key for Valencia-Alvarado. To the inside, turning, shooting, and missing. Rebound! Still loose for Valencia-Alvarado. Westerfield on the outside. Kicked out with a new shot clock. To the inside, and scoring on the play, Jordan Valencia-Alvarado. He has 9 on the night. And leads extended to 11 with 1:45 to go. So it will be Union. Well, you need points, and you need them quickly. The entry in for Evan Manville. Manville thrusted along for Thompson. Thompson will surge on ahead. Here comes Thompson far side. Surging and turning. Holcomb. Open 3 is missed on the play by Baldessari. And up ahead comes Brock Streufert. Streufert will lead the charge for the Bombers. Open outlet is Vopalensky on the outside. Woodard. Give and go with Streufert. Woodard near side. Entry feed in down low for Westerfield. Thrusted along. Excellent clock management and surging in towards the rack through contact. Jordan Valencia-Alvarado. And he'll head to the line. The Union foul will go against Josiah Baldessari. Second foul for him. Both teams sitting at 5 fouls with 65 seconds to go. Missing on the first attempt was Valencia-Alvarado, his first chance at the stripe. With 65 seconds to go, Richland with an 11-point lead, looking to advance and play tomorrow against Mount Si. Second attempt is up and through. A 12-point lead. Baldessari up the wing, leaves one for Holcomb. Intercepted and taken away. Valencia-Alvarado up the wing. Layup is good.
Faked the behind the back pass and then went up for the lane, got these 2 points.
Manville kick down low. Baldessari dispossessed. And it'll be Union that will set up in the attacking zone. And what an afternoon, especially for Richland. Earl Streufert's team has put on quite the show. However, this is a Union team that has been led primarily by their seniors with exquisite efforts. Evan Manville, Yanni Vasilis, as well as Samir Thompson and Josiah Baldessari. This is a senior heavy team in terms of the star workload.
And for the Bombers on the other side, it's only starter that it's the seniors, Jase Vopalensky. We've seen Brock Streufert and Jordan Valencia play quite a bit here in this game just to get some experience because they are seniors and they've played plenty of games here at Richland, as well as Jace Woodard's in there right now. So 4 seniors in, 4 of the 6 seniors on this team.
Well, all these seniors' careers will end here in the Tacoma Dome, but in one fashion. Meanwhile, on the outside, Paxton Heisich on the outside. Played on by Nolan Frazier. Frazier now on the handoff for Stanley. Grayson Stanley turning, spinning the inside. A shot that's missed on the play. And it'll be a lead pass and on ahead. And a play that's halted. Jace Woodard gains entry and a timeout eventually called. So with the reserves in for Union.
And as they called that timeout, I said there's 6 seniors, and those two of those 6, the last 2 of those 6 seniors will check in, as well as the two of the 3 freshmen on this roster.
With Josiah Scacco alongside Sylen Keisel-Kauhane. They'll be checking in with 23 seconds to go. So Richland, barring some unforeseen miracle, will be taking on Mount Si tomorrow at 2 o'clock in what is the quarterfinals of the state tournament. Mount Si, one of the clear favorites by many pundits to be state champions. We'll see if that bodes true. And a turnover. Nick Burchett up the wing. Burchett loses the ball, regathers control initially. Still loose, a scramble for it, out of bounds it goes. Union with 8.8 to go. We'll have one more check. One more chance to give a crack offensively. The entry feed on the far side. And the finish on the play. 2 seconds ago. Richland, thanks to a spectacular performance in the third quarter, comes from behind and beats Union by the final count of 55-43. An excellent performance by the Bombers. They will advance to the quarterfinals of the state tournament, take on Mount Si. We will be having our post-game show and our MVPs, the Alderson Awards West Printware's post-game show, coming up right after this on the Eli Sports and NFHS networks. Back live on the Eli Sports and NFHS network as we are wrapping up this broadcast with the Alderson's Awards West post-game show. For trophies, awards, t-shirts, and so much more, go to aldersons.net for their full catalog. Well, final score 55-43 in favor of Richland. The Bombers will be bombing their way into the quarterfinals of the state tournament, taking on Mount Si, a 55-43 victory over Union. Let's take a look as we see some of our highlights, especially throughout the course of this game. It was a fantastic game. First for Union in defeat, Yanni Facilis with 13 points, Josiah Baldessari with 16 points on the day. But the story was, well, this game came down to Yanni Facilis, and, well, Max Schuster, it was the Bombers that locked up Facilis way below his average, and that's really what won the game for Richland.
Yeah, and as well as, we talked about that third quarter, how dominant of a third quarter. In that quarter, I believe Facilis only had 4 points. And when they can do that on defense and then go on a 14-2 run in the third, that's how you win games right there. You go on those big runs and then you keep them to those runs. We saw end with a really good finish, but that third quarter lead that the Bombers took just kept them carrying on through the end. Josh Woodard leading all scoring. Played phenomenal. Spread out that floor in that zone defense. Really took advantage of the open opportunities he had.
And as we take a look at some of those key stars, including Josh Woodard, maybe a little bit of a tease, it's time to name our game MVP for tonight's game. It's brought to you by the Thoroughbucks Wellness Center in Chehalis, Centralia, and South Bend. Strong today, stronger tomorrow, strongest together at Thoroughbucks. Well, first, for the MVP for the Union side, well, especially producing so many chances at the line, you got to go with Yanni Facilis, 13 points in the losing effort. A spectacular career. Josiah Baldessari does earn an honorable mention, leading the team lead with 16 points. But for Richland, they're scoring, well, you had a few options here that you could go with MVP. And, well, there was one player that really was the key, especially as the tide turned in the second half.
Yeah, Josh Woodard, phenomenal night. I kind of teased it there early, but Woodard really doing it on both ends of the court. We saw him come up big with some, not necessarily steals, but tipped and forced to steal. Jack Forbes as well, taking advantage of some of those tips that Josh Woodard got, turning it into offense, and that's what got the Bombers the win and gets Josh Woodard the MVP.
And so Woodard the MVP alongside Yanni Facilis. So it'll be Richland that will advance to the quarterfinals, taking on Mount Si tomorrow at 2 o'clock. By way of a 55-43 over Union. So for all of us here on the Eli Sports and NFHS networks, for our producer Noah Fadden and my color commentator Max Schuster, I'm Danny Buck saying so long, and once again, as always, the pleasure was all ours. We'll see you again in just a matter of moments.